In today's episode, we'll discuss the most common mistakes made when extending into a short salon-quality almond shape. We'll show you how to trim down the form, how to correctly build the nail, and what to avoid during shaping. Hi, my name is Connie, and this is a channel dedicated to the art of nail styling. In today's episode, we'll show you all the mistakes in styling a short salon almond. We'll show you what to avoid and what to do to achieve a slender and beautiful instead of a thick and heavy stub. The products and tools we'll use in today's episode are acid primer, perfect base, easy shape light rose gel, and tip-top top coat. We'll also need cuticle bit number 9, a 100 to 180 grit file, gel brush number 4, wooden cuticle sticks, cleaner number 1, and purple nail extension forms. A long, sleek almond is one of the most beautiful shapes. It elongates the nail and makes the entire design like a cherry on top and a dream come true of every stylist. But in real life, not all clients want to wear long nails. Some prefer a shorter manicure. However, not all of these clients will want a short square either. Some will ask for a short almond. And here lies the challenge, because this shape can often end up looking like a short, pointy stiletto or a flat beak. So what to do? What to pay attention to? Because mistakes most often happen already at the fitting the form stage or when working on the shape. Today, we'll talk about all of this so that at the end of the episode, you'll all know how to create a beautiful, short, sleek almond. Before starting, as always, we need to disinfect our hands, put on disposable gloves, and disinfect our clients' hands. We push the cuticles up with a wooden stick, then shorten the free edge of the nail with the 180 side of a 100 to 180 grit file. The next step is buffing the nail plate. We do it very gently, without much strength, working in one direction only. Using the cuticle bit number 9 set to about 7,000 RPM, we remove any cuticle residue from the nail plate and push back the cuticles. We work from right to left with a push-sweep motion. We smooth out the lateral nail walls too, and using a pad soaked in cleaner number 1, we dehydrate the whole surface of the nail. Then dot the acid primer around and wait for it to evaporate. Our stylist used an acid primer under every extension. I know, every instructor has their own opinion on this. Some always start with an acid-free one and move on to the acid one if something happens. Others start with the acid one straight away. Who's right? They both are. You need to look at the arguments from both sides and try methods out in your salon to decide which one works best for you. You need to remember that acid primer etches the nail plate mechanically, which means it's stronger, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. If we use it the wrong way, we pour too much of it. Actually, pour is not the best word. We apply it. So if we apply too much of it, pour it onto the nail, so to speak, we can cause real harm, leaving a chemical burn, which is why we need to remember this. And using this knowledge, decide if we want to use it every time or only when we need to. Using gel brush number 4, we apply the perfect base coat. We rub it in thinly so the buff texture of the nail plate is still visible. We cure the base in the lamp for 60 seconds. Mistake number 1 is an incorrectly placed form. Incorrect incision at the wrong height or cutting into the form too much won't allow to adhere appropriately to the spot where the natural nail plate grows. To place and cut the form correctly, we must first fit it to the nail plate and check the placement angle. It has to be cut the same way on both sides. The edge of the form should touch the point where the natural nail starts to grow. Mistake number 2 is a lopsidedly pinched form. If we pinch the wings wonky, once we place the form under the free edge, it will curve to one side. The final effect will be an asymmetrical tunnel and a crooked nail. Mistake number 3 is the wrong angle of the form. When placing the form, we must make sure it's not sitting too low. This will create a gap between the nail plate and the form through which the gel can escape. We shouldn't place the form too high either, as this will lead to the so-called ski jump nails. Mistake number 4 is a form that is not pinched. In the case of a short almond, we pinch the form 3 points further than the intended length of the extension. If the form wasn't pinched, the tunnel would end up too wide. We'll end up with an oval shape and not a slender almond. When extending the nail to number 1 on the form, we pinch it 3 points further, so to number 4. Mistake number 5 in using too much product when creating the frame. First of all, it's hard to spread that amount of product symmetrically, which leads to a wonky tunnel, which in turn leads to a wonky nail. Secondly, if the frame ends up too thick, we'll have to try to save the day later. So we either layer less product on top, which leads to a stiff nail, which will make it difficult for us to pinch the tunnel, or we'll put a lot of product onto the frame, we'll pinch the tunnel nicely, but we'll end up with a thick, heavy nail. And getting it to an acceptable thickness will mean an awful lot of work filing it down and shaping. So we need to be mindful at the frame building stage. We need just a little bit of product, only as much as we need, no more, and the work will be easier. We pick up a small ball of product onto gel brush number 4. Thinly apply it to the nail plate and create a frame on the form up to the desired length. In our case, we built the frame up to number 1 because we didn't cut out the egg. If we deepened it, we'd have to extend the frame to a number 2. We place the ball of product where the form touches the nail plate. We stretch the gel up to where the natural nail starts to grow, then spread it into the desired shape. The side walls of the nail need to run straight and only curve towards the end. If we don't place the product correctly along the walls at the construction stage, we'll end up with an incorrect nail structure. We will have to work hard and build the edges in the air, and this is never a good idea. Mistake number 6 is following the auxiliary lines when building the frame. The white lines, which are supposed to help create the shape, are not always helpful when building the frame. In the case of wide nails, we need to ignore them altogether. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Why are these auxiliary lines even on the form if I have to take other factors into account? Well, if we're going to blindly follow the lines and ignore everything else, we're not going to end up with a perfect shape because most clients don't have perfect nail plates. We need to take into account the starting point. That is, the nail plate as well as our skill set, our experience, our know-how, however we want to call it. The auxiliary lines are there to help us, but never think for us. That's probably for the best because this way we can be certain that our profession cannot be automated in a few years. I think even as the world progresses, as a nail stylist will still be a human and not a robot. At the end of the day, I think we have the upper hand. Mistake number 7 is inappropriately placed gel. We don't place the product in the center of the nail because the apex will be displaced. Such nails will not look great and will be much less resistant to breakages. To do it properly, we pick up a small ball of the Easy Shape Light Rose Gel and create a slip layer. Then we pick up a bigger portion and place it at 1/3 of the nail's length. We spread the product first towards the cuticles and then down towards the free edge. We place the gel so that it has an even length in all places. We freeze it in the lamp for around 10 to 12 seconds. Freezing means putting our client's hand under the lamp so that the gel hardens but doesn't fully cure yet. If it cures 100%, there is no chance to pinch any kind of tunnel in it. If in turn we start pinching it too soon, the gel will leak out from the middle, forcing you to start working all over again. This is why, before getting down to pinching, it's best to tap on its surface with something metal first, a cuticle pusher or the metal part of a brush, to listen for that characteristic hollow sound. If you hear it, you know the nail is ready for tunnel pinching. Mistake number 8 is a tunnel that's pinched too tightly. A tightly pinched tunnel will make the nail look like a short, pointy stiletto. We want to avoid firm pinching. We need to do it with moderation. Our clients shouldn't feel any pain during the process. Mistake number 9 is an inappropriately filed shape. When filing the sides, we shouldn't file them to a point. The upper arch can't be shifted towards the center, and the edges cannot be lifted exceedingly up. An inappropriately filed nail has edges that are filed through and is too slender too high. It doesn't have a proper tunnel, and the apex is too low and shifted towards the middle. Such a shape will be prone to breaking, optically thickens the nail, and won't look particularly pleasing. One of the myths of nail art is that filing down the sides will make my nails look slender. The more I file, the better the effect will be. This is not only a myth, but a lie, a sin, and something absolutely forbidden. We take care of nails professionally, so we know what we're talking about. We said it so many times on this channel that we know it by heart. But stylists who are just starting out, or our clients who overheard such wisdom, might resort to such an idea. So let me say it one more time, loud and clear. We file the sides, but never file through them, as it will negatively impact the construction of the nail, not just aesthetically, but also from a safety perspective. To file the nails properly, we start by giving them the initial shape. Then we even out the product by the cuticles, work on the apex and side walls. We file the edges following the line of the natural nail plate. They need to come out straight, then narrow down to a boat-like shape at the tip. On the right, you can see an incorrectly built and filed nail. As you can see, it was badly prepped prior to the manicure. On the left, you can see a correctly filed nail, correctly built, and filed with edges that come out straight. This nail will be durable and looks great. And now the most pleasant part of our job. We can admire the beautiful design we've created. Check out how cool short almonds can be. We wipe the nails with the wipe-off cleaner to get rid of any dust residue and other impurities. We then secure the design with tip-top top coat and cure in the lamp for 60 seconds. And we're done. This is what a short salon almond manicure looks like. This is the end of our episode. Let us know in the comments below which short shape is your favorite, a square, a rounded square, or maybe a short almond. Remember, we're here every Wednesday with brand new material. See you then.